welcome to On the Corner in downtown Marion. Today we are hosted by Mike Powers and Jeremiah Lang. I'll get it right here.
Thank you, Gene.
Yeah.
Who are these guys?
Yeah, who are these guys?
My question is, it's like Oz over there in the corner. We can't see him.
I know, he's behind that curtain.
Behind that curtain,
Yeah.
and we're not allowed to look behind the curtain.
Maybe there's a flying monkey back there. I don't know.
There's a flying something.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
It looked like you enjoyed your time in Ireland. Ruby posted some pictures on social media.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Nothing incriminating.
There's really nothing incriminating there that we were involved in. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. First of all, at some point I may do a Kiwanis program on the trip.
Great.
So I don't want to give away the good stuff.
Well, everybody does watch this channel, so yeah, you don't want to reveal too much.
Well, and after I do the Kiwanis thing, I'll probably come do it on here.
Okay.
But
yeah, because we don't have as many people come to Kiwanis as we do on the corner.
True.
it's close.
Yeah.
The people in Ireland, and we did not go into Northern Ireland. I really wanted to, but we also did not want to try to do everything in the entire country. And we did do a lot of riding, rode the train. We flew into Dublin, and everywhere else went to Killarney, Kilkenny. But to decide, I figured Judy helped me figure out, you want to kill Kenny, you want to kill Arnie, and then Galway. And if you look at a map, that kind of makes a big triangle on the country. But to try to also work in a couple of days in Northern Ireland would have been really tough to do and get what we wanted to get out of the rest of the trip, which was to hang around regular, real people.
Sure. Dublin
is a big international city. But where I was going with that is people in Ireland are really proud to be in the European Union.
Okay.
For 800 years fighting with the British, they were not Ireland.
Right.
Now they are.
Yeah.
And they're very, very proud of that. They really don't like the British.
Okay.
They make it very clear, and they want you to not like them either.
There's some history there.
Yeah. We watched the Irish national networks, whatever they are a little bit better than us, but they still got a hometown feel.
Sure.
I'll tell you that. You can get the BBC, but if you look at the guide, you pull up your guide on your TV. It says BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 3, whatever, but it's no information available. They will not tell you what shows on. And the BBC, when they do their morning programs and they're giving the weather, they give the weather for Scotland, Wales, England, Northern Ireland, boom. They show the whole rest of the Northern Ireland, they show all the weather forecast, then the rest of it's just a big blank. So I think the feeling's mutual.
Yeah. Balanced.
But I'm back.
Good. Did you meet Bono? Everybody wants to know.
Okay, quick joke. No, I didn't meet Bono. You know the group, the Cranberries?
Yes.
So we were, they do play, like in the common spaces, they play them. I really enjoyed, everywhere we went, I liked the music, whether it was traditional Irish music or just like kind of rock music. But they certainly played a lot of the Irish rockers. And then there were a lot of people that I think probably were Irish rockers that I just didn't know of. But it still was, all in all, for a very pleasant environment. One of the things you hear over and over and over was the Cranberries, because they were in the 90s huge.
Yep.
And the lead singer just died here recently, unfortunately, young woman. But so the Cranberries were playing, and I said, okay, Judy, who's singing this song? She said, okay, this is from the 90s. Right. There's a big group in the 90s. Right. Nirvana? No, it's not Nirvana.
Similar sound.
Not Nirvana. And she said, okay, Pearl Jam. No, not Pearl Jam. Well, then who is it? I said, it's the Cranberries. Oh, okay. We did that same thing 3 times. And it was the same thing every time. We started with Nirvana. And finally, we were eating in a bar restaurant called the King's Head in Galway that opened in 1691, and their T-shirts say "Voted Best Bar in Galway, 1691." And a girl walked by wearing a T-shirt that said Nirvana. I said, "Did you see that girl's T-shirt?" And Judy said, "No." I said, "Why?" She said, "Why? Was it a 90s band?" I said, "Yes." She said, "The Cranberries." Such is humor in the Mike and Judy life.
Well, so I greet kids up at the elementary school daily, and they like to wear T-shirts with rock bands on them sometimes, and so I'll inevitably, like if it's a Rolling Stones show, I'll say sing a song by the Rolling Stones or sing a song by AC/DC, and they always decline. But if they wear a Nirvana T-shirt, I say, "Does it smell like Teen Spirit around here?" And one girl went like this. Nope. All right, I think we've
probably done enough of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, thank you for joining us on the corner this week. Darren is celebrating his daughter's graduation from college this weekend, and if Chris Mercer is not around, he's being trained to do something. It seems like all the time.
I hope something happens that he can do something, because he's obviously well trained.
Oh, very well trained, probably overtrained.
Yeah.
We got a couple bits of information, and then we'll talk about some topics that are upcoming. News from the county: Road and Bridge will begin blade patching on 1/20th from Indigo to K15 on May 19th. So that's the day that this podcast will air. They'll start doing that May 19th.
Is it my turn?
If you want it, or if not,
I think you're doing a fine job.
Okay, the Florence Grand Prix. Well, now I messed that up. The Florence Grand Prix race will be held over Memorial Day weekend. They run that race on Sunday. It's a big event. It attracts a lot of racers, but also a big crowd goes down to watch that.
You bet.
It sounds like it's been a really successful endeavor.
That's
I think they've got 500 riders.
Wow.
That are coming from all over the United States to be here.
Great.
Not the thing, but a thing I think is kind of cool about that is that it's something that used to happen.
Yeah.
And was part of the past. And a group of people just decided, well, it doesn't have to be part of the past, and they're making it happen again.
Yeah, that's
kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
And if you're from out of town and you happen, since this is, seen in Bangor, Maine, and by the way, it's also, we have a subscriber in Utah, as I promised.
Right, right, west of the Rockies.
West of the Rockies. But if you want to be standing in someone's front yard with a motorcycle whizzing over your head or down the sidewalk or where nearby, because that thing is run through city streets in part.
Yeah.
So,
right. Big event. Emergency management will be participating in a debris management class, and will also be assisting Burns Fire, City of Florence, and Lehigh Fire with events over Memorial Day weekend. I don't know what a debris management class is.
Do you start by creating the debris,
or figuring out how to manage your debris?
Put your debris over there. I'll put my debris over here.
Classifying debris.
Well, I'm assuming it's how to deal with houses down all over the place from a tornado or something.
You think?
Yeah, or a fire.
Okay.
Where they have debris afterwards.
Okay.
What do they do with it now that they need to clear it up?
What if it's possibly got...
I thought they just put it in Mud Creek. No?
I don't think that's what they put it.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Maybe what you've been doing.
No, certainly.
Normally when you
anybody who lives near me knows I light a lot of things on fire, but I don't put it in the creek.
Normally when you hear somebody alleging that others are doing horrible things,
that's right,
or they see something and they
That's
immediately infer
that's
that that's dirty.
Yeah.
It's because that's the way that person would do it.
Well, there's nothing in the creek that I've put there, but there is a lot of things in the creek.
Yeah, that I hope will be improved fairly soon. There's a matter of opening some gates at both ends actually, and trying to kind of flush some stuff out. That I know the city has contacted a company, the same company that cleaned out all the sewers here last summer.
Okay.
That about doing that. So I'm hopeful. I need to check up on that, see where that stands. But we do need to do something to get some water flowing down there.
We do have a good mosquito breeding ground. It's ripe.
You know, we're looking for something to lay claim to.
Yeah.
Mosquito capital of Kansas.
That's right. Rhinos and mosquitoes.
And, you know, you wouldn't have to be a lot easier to move the statues. Oh, will you read on, please?
All right. Marion County Department of Aging is always looking for volunteers to drive senior citizens to appointments. If you have a clean driving record and are interested in helping, please contact Lou at 620-382-3580. And that is that's a big need. And I know we have a limited audience on this podcast, but really, if you know of somebody that would be available to do that or might be interested to do that, talk to them about it, because that is a huge need in our city and in our county. May 18th through 24th, so starting yesterday, is National EMS Week. Be sure to thank those who provide emergency medical services in Marion County. We have a great ambulance department now.
Yeah, we do.
Make sure you thank them, but don't create an emergency just to see them. That's
very good point,
unadvisable.
because that could be misunderstood.
Right.
Gene, put the camera on you. Keep it there. Say something intelligent.
Say something intelligent?
Yes.
Well, that might be hard to do.
Gene, how long were you on EMS?
42 years.
42 years.
Yeah, as an EMT.
Yep.
And it was great. I still think about some of the things that happened over that period of time, because, you have the bad wrecks and then you have the really bad wrecks, and so it's, I think the two worst wrecks that I can ever remember in Marion was when they was doing Highway 50 down here. Yeah. And they had those two wrecks back to back each day, and it was bad. Yeah. So yeah, that's unfortunately that's the stuff that sticks with you. Yeah. But I know 42 years is a great service to this community, and we appreciate you and the others who do that work. Yeah. Well, it started out, we had a Ford Econoline van was the first ambulance we had. Oh, wow. Here. And it was mainly, we took it over from the funeral home, that was doing it. And it was mainly a vehicle to scoop and go. Yeah. I mean, we had oxygen, and that's about all we could do.
Did you know, you grew up in
Tucson.
Yeah, big city, big city. Did you know that in small rural Kansas towns for a long time, most of them, the ambulance was run by the funeral home?
See, that was new to me when I moved here. I did not know that ahead of time, and I always thought it would, if I was in a wreck and the funeral director showed up, I'd be kind of concerned.
It does seem counterintuitive.
He's going to take care of
That's right, yeah.
Regardless of the outcome.
That's right.
My hometown had two funeral homes, and so they were basically competing ambulances. The reason I asked Gene to put the camera on him was just so I could dash over and grab my phone, because one of the other things we were going to talk about is that the city has now entered into a contract with an individual to be our new city administrator. His name's Brian Wells. He is originally, he has a lot of Emporia contacts, spent a lot of time in Emporia as a kid. I think he had grandparents there, and then grew up in the Kansas City area, if I'm remembering correctly. His wife is an Emporia State grad. I can't remember whether he went to Emporia State or not.
I think he did. I think that was in the write-up that I saw.
But then was in Estes Park in the municipal government there, and then moved to Florida. And what he was doing was related to municipal government. It wasn't specific to it, but he was in charge of a whole lot of people and a whole lot of money. And when we were interviewing, and I said, Estes Park, Florida, and Marion, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, for sure.
And he pushed back on that. And he said, in terms of if you're somewhere where you love it and it's a wonderful place and whatever, it was just the best. I was making a joke. Yeah. He made it into something kind of meaningful. I think people are going to like him, and I think he's going to do a great job for us.
Yeah,
we will be having, And what I was looking for, I think it is the 23rd, which would be next Friday or next
Friday.
Friday. But I can't confirm that for sure. It's when's Memorial Day? Is it the 24th?
That's that weekend.
It's that week. Okay,
that Monday.
So it's the 23rd. There will be a meet and greet in the city offices to meet Brian. I think his wife's going to be there as well.
Great.
I believe it's going to be from 2 to 4. They're still setting that up, but I think those are the hours they settled on in the ballroom over there.
Very good.
Good.
So
Looking forward to that.
chance to come, and there'll be more about him. We'll get him in here and let people see him. You know, when we interviewed him, we did it online. We couldn't see anything. We didn't know if he had legs. I mean, assume he does, but doesn't really matter, I guess. But we have since seen shots that he does.
That's confirmed.
See, that's one thing about us. We see your legs.
In all their glory.
And we know.
Yeah.
We know that you do have legs.
Yeah. Got my work shoes on. So, speaking of how great the community is, my parents, their delivery truck arrived today, and so that was being unloaded today. And the guys that were unloading, I think I heard them stop and say multiple times to them just how lovely this town is, and they were very impressed by Marion, Kansas, and coming into town and the environment that they were experiencing here.
You're pitching a softball to me, but it's just this idea and the group of people in town who just want to portray this place as being someplace horrible. It shocked me when it was really going on big, and that's still out there, this desire to bring the town down. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I've it's kind of, since I became the mayor, I've been paying more attention when I drive into other small towns, what they look like and whatever. And most of them have, their good points and they have their bad points, as do we. But I think things are getting better here. That whole North Coble development now, it wasn't that long ago that there were no houses on the east side of Coble Street past Denver. Right on Coble Street.
Yeah.
Now there's new houses the whole way out there. And the last 3 of the last 4 sold like that. And my understanding is that there are interested parties in the 4th. And yesterday I had a conversation with the city administrator, with Mark, the interim, about whether we had other areas that we could open to more of those developments.
That's great.
The duplexes that were built. I mean, there's 8 living spaces given. I mean, I get it. They're not large, but if you don't need a large one, or if you're a new teacher in town or a new preacher in town, and you just got to have some place to live, it gives you that option. And they're new and they're nice. And I just think we've got, we redid the water tower, cleaned it up. I don't know. Sorry, I'm off on a rant. You threw a softball.
Yeah, I did.
Can't help but hit at it.
No, I think anytime we get a chance on this channel to promote the highlights around here, I think it's important to do so. So today, this will be airing on Monday, and we're recording this not on Monday. But
this is that's inside.
That's
that's
right.
Showbiz stuff.
That's right.
This is a day other than Monday.
Day other than Monday. School is out for summer, and so kids are done for the school year. You're going to see them. I saw one just this afternoon riding on their bike right down the road. So we're going to see a lot more kids out here these next couple months.
Should have brought my Alex Cooper 8-track.
You should have.
School's out.
Yeah, you could sing it.
School's out for summer. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is good.
That's enough.
Let's see. Next Thursday, Marion's going to host regional track. Last night we went over to Sterling for league track, and a number of those teams are going to be here. And if you like track at all, track and field at all, come out to Marion Stadium, Warrior Stadium, next Thursday. Or this coming Thursday, for the regional track meet. You're going to see some of the top competition in the state, and they're going to be right here in Marion, Kansas.
Just an aside, a little humble brag. I have my grandson in Lawrence is a sophomore at Free State High, which is a 6A. And he was out for track last year. He's out for this year, and he's on the JV. I mean, they have so many kids.
Right.
They have a JV track team, and they had a JV league meet, I think, and he threw well enough in the javelin that he actually qualified for regional. Not a JV regional, the actual regional. Yeah. I didn't even know you could do such thing.
Yeah, that is great.
Go ahead. I just seen a deal too at the one track meet. We had some record-breaking school records.
Yeah.
Just the other day.
So last night, Dylan Kraus broke this or set a new school record in the 400, which she had set previously, I think, at Beloit. This season, but then
so she broke her own record.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But then they've been putting her in the 800, and she's been running. She ran so last night she runs the 400. Then there's not very many races between the 400 and the 800.
It's true.
So she runs the 400, sets her own new school record in that. She comes back, runs the 800, and sets the school record in that. That's been on the board for 33 years.
Do you have any idea who held it before?
I would have to go back on that Facebook post and look, but it's been. She is quite the athlete, and then you got Luke Wessel, who just graduated, and Taryn Kraus, and a whole host of other kids out there that are running and throwing, and it's should be, like I said, come out to the stadium next Thursday and watch some track. It'll be a great day.
Hey, when you've got a high school that is doing as well I shouldn't say high school, a school system doing as well as the Marion Florence school system. That's a big plus for a community as well. And I'm not just talking about facilities. I'm talking about kids coming out of the classrooms as well.
Yeah. I looked down at your socks.
Just don't go there.
Okay, I won't go there.
I feel somewhat triggered by you staring at my ankles.
I just my literacy is my ability to read is competing against my ability to
Well, they're
participate.
not Star Trek this evening.
They're definitely not Star Trek.
No, they are. Yeah, you had something else you want to talk about, Dennis?
Not anymore. Let's follow up the regional track.
It's a very valid or logical segue.
Yeah, so one of the things that's going to happen in the community here in the next month is Grant and Deanna Tiroff are moving up to Tonganoxie, and I know the school district and community members. I know us at our church we've all tried to recognize them and pay that respect to them in this process. But man, what a significant contribution they've made to this community over the years, as coaches, as teachers, as community members, and they will definitely be missed.
You know, when Grant retired from coaching football, our MCTV group gave him a plaque, and part of what it represented was his record here at Marion. And I'm not even going to try to get this right because I will fail, but I can get the gist of it, which is that over a period of however many years it was, 20 or 25 or whatever, he averaged, I think, close to 7 wins a season, maybe 6.5. And, you know, high school football in Kansas plays 9 games in a season, unless you have going to the playoffs. And in what was a 3A, then a 2A, then a 1A, and now maybe 2A again, I'm not sure. School, you don't just have a wealth of talent. You just, whoever is willing to go out for football is who you have to use. So the ability to have that consistency now there were, I think the 2 worst seasons that he had were 3 and 6. And there are a lot of schools that 3 and 6 would be pretty happy with.
Right.
But to be able to average not just by the skin of your teeth, but a solid winning record over that period of time, pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And he's a good teacher.
Yeah. Really.
I shouldn't make that a throwaway line, should I?
They were both excellent teachers.
Yeah,
they were both
that's
excellent
fair.
teachers.
Shouldn't throw Deanna away. Yeah.
Yep.
So Elm Street's closed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elm Street is closed.
It is. It is closed. The Locust Street project that was working on the drainage, it's really not a ditch, but I'll just call it a drainage ditch, the drainage through there, including that concrete portion of it, and then the kind of affected the road as well, has been done now. But that continues on to the west for a ways. And the gutters up Elm Street, when it was first brought to my attention, I thought, I don't think they're that bad. And I went and looked at them, and they were pretty bad.
Yeah, yep.
And we had a construction company right there doing concrete work. It only seemed like it made sense to fix those.
Yep.
And then while that was going on, you might notice EBH's parking area in front is being done. That is not a city project. Darren just, while they were there, he asked if they would also do that.
Sure. Yep.
And so that's why Elm is closed.
I've been over the years, I've been giving Darren a hard time that a company that has as much good looking work around the state as EBH has had one of the worst parking lots in town. So he probably got tired of hearing that from me. So
your fault.
Yeah, I inspired him. Chingawassa Days we talked about last week, and there will be some on the corner episodes about the events and about Dinky Ducks. But again, if Mike was a committee member for a number of years, 17 years for Chingawassa Days, and as I said in the last podcast, listen, even if you don't know the bands or don't like the bands, buy a button, go to the park, enjoy the barbecue, get the ice cream, spend some money on some Dinky Ducks. Just be together as a community.
That is the beauty of Chingawassa Days. And from the beginning, we tried very hard to have something, as many things as we could to appeal to somebody. Like the horseshoe pitching tournament that we had for years. That might be the only thing that somebody that participated in, that may be the only thing they do in the whole event, but it was something they did. And there were so many other little things like that. We have a group called the Retired Rhinos that are former members of Chingawassa Days Committee that just wanted to continue to hang out together. I mean, it's not everybody who was ever on the committee. Gene was on the committee.
Yeah, I was on the committee, but
you didn't get invited?
I didn't get invited to play Jenga.
You have to play Jenga?
Yeah.
Oh, well, come play.
No, I don't want to play. I just want to be part of it.
He wants to be included.
You can be part of it.
Yeah.
But we have then the Chinga Jenga.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, the full size 2x4s.
Yeah.
And we made those sets. You think, well, how hard is that? You just cut two. Well, yeah, but then you have to sand them.
Yeah.
And we had a deal at one of the members' barns and had sanders going. I think we had 4 of them going, and we were all just sanding all these because we had to give away a set every year, and we created enough to do 8 sets at one time. And then, I think we made 12 sets. And I wasn't wearing any kind of a face mask or anything, didn't even think about it. And it was the only time in my life that I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
For about 3 days.
All choked up.
I was all choked up.
Moved.
All stove up.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I agree with you. Chingawassa is a community festival. And if, buy a button, go wander around on Saturday morning and afternoon. It'll be fun. They're going to have, I think, bed races again this year.
Yes.
That's bringing back an old
That's a great event.
Thing.
Great event.
I think going to have that down on Main Street.
I don't know.
Oh.
No.
Probably not going to have it in the park.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe they'll have it down Elm Street once you get Elm Street open back up.
Yeah.
I don't know. What we used back in the olden days was hospital beds.
Yeah.
And we had them. We stored them, and then we would let, if you had a group, let's say the Presbyterian Church, you could put your decoration on, and then we'd use a different bed for somebody in the next race. And then meanwhile, the other team could put their decorations on yours. And one year, the Chinga committee had a bed of our own, and it may have been sponsored by the hospital. I can't remember. But we all somebody laid on the bed,
Right.
and was the patient, and the rest of us put on, I don't know, scrubs or hospital gowns or something, and we pushed them from the starting point up right out front of us here at Gene's place, down to the end of the block, and we stopped. We're racing against somebody, but we just stopped, and we all, and the person on the bed lit a cigarette, which may not have been good messaging to anybody, but that's what they do on those, is they do fun things.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And it's $30 this year, which is cheap for what you get.
Sure.
I mean, my gosh, if you go down there Friday night and eat a good meal,
ice cream
from the hospital, and then you got a program on Friday night, Saturday night, then you got another bigger program, and there's all kinds of things you can do down there during the daytime. The little dachshund dog races.
That was huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can come play Chinga Jenga we have cash prizes. Cash.
It is. I've played it a couple times. That is one of the most. As you get further on in that, it just gets more and more stressful.
People do.
Oh man,
they're sweating, man.
Yeah. That is an anxiety-ridden event, but it's a good time. There's an item on here that so Gene sent out an email saying, "Hey, what do we have to talk about?" And I just kind of put a list of things. And there's an item on here that I put on this list because I was driving back from the hardware store, and I noticed there's no for sale sign anymore in front of Dollar Tree. Did somebody buy Dollar Tree? Is it?
Well, I drove by it on the way to the hardware store today.
Okay.
And the lawn was mowed.
Right. That's the other thing was I saw somebody out mowing the lawn.
I was in Ireland, and even if I wasn't, I'm not a conduit for information from Dollar Tree.
Well, you might know something.
I'm signed up with Dollar General.
We're all signed up with Dollar General. that's what we. That's our option.
Well, I'm all in for Dollar General.
Yeah.
That's the Marion store.
Okay, that I wasn't.
I really don't. I have no idea.
Okay.
No clue.
I thought maybe you would know.
I don't know.
All right, Gene, do you know?
I have not heard.
Okay. All right. Well, then I won't speculate, and I won't create false rumors.
Got too late for that.
I'm asking a question.
That's all it takes.
I think there's been somebody looking at it, but they had that leased out,
mm-hmm.
and they were asking to buy that. You had to pay out that lease for that building, which makes it pretty high dollar for So I just don't know, but it would be nice if somebody could put something in there.
Sure,
it'd be a beautiful community center, to have for weddings or special events that come to town. And there's nothing in town available that big.
Yeah, maybe now the getting married in a barn phase is over. Now people want to get married in a department store.
There's a show called Righteous Gemstones. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's I think it's about 3 seasons and it's done. It was on HBO, I believe, and it's all about a family of televangelists.
Okay.
And interacting with the other televangelists, how competitive they are, and they were fighting because the one family started mini mall churches, and then the other started moving in on their mini mall churches, and they had a big fight over it. This could be your opportunity for the Presbyterian Church. It wouldn't be a mini mall church, but it'd be 2 locations. I don't think there's another church in town that has 2 locations.
That's probably accurate.
So there you go.
There we go. We'll reach the people on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. This is only going to get worse the longer it goes, so we should probably wrap it up. This will air this will air on Monday the 19th, which means there won't be another episode until after Memorial Day or on Memorial Day. So everybody have a safe
be safe
Memorial Day. Enjoy yourselves this week, and we will see you. Some version of us will see you in the following week.
Hopefully a better one than what we have
right.
today.
Okay, we're going to close off this because it's getting kind of out of hand.
Woo!
Yeah, but don't forget, you people, when you're watching this, all you have to do is down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little subscribe button. Please click on it. I think I looked last, we're up to 89 now, and so it doesn't take nothing to do it. It doesn't cost you nothing. Just because you're subscribing, we're not going to send you a bill or anything. So, but just like us and subscribe. And if you have any comments, I get one every once in a while. You leave a comment, and we do read every one of them that comes in and try to make it better. So thank you all, and drive safely and be careful.